Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today's video is going to be my top favorite wintertime eyeshadow palettes. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. If you are into eyeshadow palettes, Esses and Catrice, and getting the use out of your makeup like I am, you're in the right place. And today's video is going to tap into that quite nicely because today we're going to be chatting about all of my favorite winter eyeshadow palettes. I've done this twice before and I'm trying not to double up anything, so I'll make sure to link those other videos down below so you can have another watch if you'd like to. I have quite a few new palettes in here, things that I haven't shown here, so in a way it's kind of like a haul as well. We've got 15 things to chat about, so that's quite a lot. So if you're new here, it may be good to know I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, which greatly skews my makeup preferences, and because I have been buying, trying, and reviewing makeup for more than a decade, I kind of know what I like, so I have some very strong preferences. So if you're here for the ride and you want to join the Snow Angel Club, then definitely click subscribe down below. So top 15 eyeshadow palettes. I'm not really going to be doing this in any order. These aren't ranked. These are just 15 color stories that I feel can be really nice for like the winter season. So expect the cool tones. Expect the cool tones. Yeah, I decided to go with 15 because I was sort of rummaging through my makeup drawers and I was like, but I need to talk about this and I need to talk about that and I need to talk about that. So that's why I've got 15 in no particular order. So let me just get a couple of things out of the way straight away. This one. I feel ashamed. Did I ever put this in any of these videos? Why is it not in a winter palettes video? Maybe I put it into a fall one, I'm not sure. But BH Cosmetics Love in London. I mean, I went back to it in November and I am in love with it. It's really good quality and the color story of this. I mean, granted, it's perhaps more like winter in London kind of vibes rather than like snowy winter. But yeah, I'm from a country that has very similar weather to the UK, so it's a lot of rain here in the Netherlands. So I feel that this is very sort of like winter heavy. Like we've got some like the cool tones and the blue and the gray over here. I just really like this. It's got some lovely taupey shades as well. And even though like from a at a glance, because of the blue like metallic background, the warm tones over here and here really stand out. But when you look at this in real life and if you start using it, it's definitely a lot more cool tone than you might expect. So this one is sadly discontinued. This is one of the very few travel palettes that BH Cosmetics didn't redo. And I don't understand it because this is one of my favorite all-time palettes for sure. Now the next palette isn't one you can buy, but just recently, I'll make sure to link it in the description box down below, I reorganized my Naked 2 and Naked 3 eyeshadow palettes into what I deem my perfect cool toned color story. Are you ready for this? Ta-da! The aim is to start using this come January as part of my Shop My Stash and to create a bit of a project pan with this and to try and see how many shades of this I can hit pan on. Naked 2 and Naked 3 are some of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. I still love them till this day, but mine were old. Granted, I have two very fresh backups of both of them, but now that I have reorganized it, I'm like, could someone please make this? Like, can someone please, like, makeup industry, please, can we make this? Because I would buy that for sure. So yeah, don't remember exactly what's in here, but I'm pretty sure that that really big dent in the middle, that's why Decay. That's one of my favorite all-time shades from the Naked 2. So yeah, perfect cool tone color story. I love my cool tones. We all know that. Something just fell out. These, like I took them out, but I didn't glue them back in. So I have to be very careful with this one. But yeah, this great cool tone color story, and I think perfect for winter. And I was very surprised that I didn't feature this yet, but maybe I started doing these videos after I used this. One of my favorite like Christmas time palettes, and to me like Christmas is winter, is the Naked Smokey from Decay. Of course, also discontinued. Don't worry, I have some things coming up that you can still buy. this, like those grayish tone blues in the middle, like, come on, it's winter in a palette. And in here, we also get that more flaky Urban Decay shimmer shade in here. Yeah, to me, this is a perfect fall, like winter color story, I should say, especially because of those. And I remember there was just a year where I was just going back to this all the time in December. In fact, I'm pre-filming this, so I'm not entirely sure anymore, but I do believe I put this on my palettes to be revisited in December list. Because I was like, I still want to capture that vibe again. So that's why I wanted to put it in this video, and I was surprised I hadn't featured it before. Falling Colors by Catrice. This was a fall limited edition from Catrice this year. Came out in October. But to me, there's just something about this that screams holidays to me. So, and therefore winter. So this is very glam looking. The only thing you need to disregard for this to be like a true wintertime palette is this little row here in the middle. Like, if you cover that up, do you see what I mean? Like, isn't that just a really good, like, really good wintertime color story? We've got those rosy shades with like some taupiness. It's stunning. It's a stunner of the palette, and this quality was amazing. Why was this limited edition? Catrice, bring it out in your permanent line and release it all around the globe, because this was some good eyeshadow. And then I have some mini bits here as well. I was like, Viseart, Paris Étoile. Like this, I think this was actually their Christmas release last year, so I don't think I owned this yet by the time I filmed this video last year. But yeah, this is winter in a palette. Like, it's snow on rooftops. You get those grungy, tealy shades. Like, it doesn't swatch the best, but do I love it? These two shimmers are stunning. We get the charcoaly gray. We get some plummy tones. Like, this is such a good one. Such a good one. You can grunge it up, but it can also look very beautiful and ethereal as well. So this is a very versatile little palette. I'm really glad I have it. And then I was thinking purples. I mean, already in November I was feeling the purples, but I think for the winter time, these like periwinkle cool tone purples that are very light from Glamshop, this is winter in a palette. So this is the Veri Peri by Glamshop. I don't think I said that yet. You get this like lovely tone of blue tones. We get these like really light purpley shades. And then we get some like really stunning shimmers like this flaky thing. I haven't played with this yet. This is quite new to me. So this is still on the to try pile. So this, I think it's gonna be January that I'm gonna use it. And I'm looking forward to it so much. Glamshop does some really good color stories, really good quality shadows as well. And the best part, they're an indie brand and they're based in the EU because they're Polish. And then I did count these as like two separate palettes because that's what they are. So these are like numbers, I don't know. And I don't know from the 15 I'm showing you. But these two Kaleidos quads, if we're sticking with the periwinkle theme, then I think these two quads from the Smokey Nostalgia collection, is that what it's called? No. Midnight Creation, something like that. But this is Flowing Haze and Glowing Iris. And then if I showed you that, then especially the Glowing Iris one, like winter. But I think Flowing Haze, like even more, like this is so wintry to me. So perfect and wintry. Again, two quads that are still in my to try pile. I believe, however, that these are two quads that I'm going to be trying already in December. I think these are on my December to try pile. So by the time you see this video, I may have already tried these, but these are going to pop up in my December review for sure. And then I have a section of palettes that I have already shown you. So a palette that I was like, why didn't I talk about this before? Nomad Cosmetics, Land of Fire and Ice. Of course, is this a great winter palette. Not only because it's inspired by Iceland, but especially this side of the palette, and then also like some of these like greeny shades, like this grayish green and this like lavendery shade that periwinkle kind of shade. I mean, the warm tones I could do without, but that's supposed to be like the inside of a volcano kind of idea. I believe the idea. But yet this, like, you could ignore the other half of the palette, but like that, oh, so stunning for winter. It's got a teal. We know I love my teals, but especially these like bluish green tones over on this side of the palette. It's a really good winter color story, and I don't think I'm going to be able to have space for it to try it out this winter, but maybe like early March, it can still be quite cold as well. So this is definitely one I need to go back to at some point. Then another palette from Glamshop that is new to me, but I looked at this color story and I was like, winter. This is their cashmere palette. So this is the first of their larger palettes that I have. I mainly have tried their 9-pan so far, but I wanted to try this. Someone asked me in the comments whether I was going to try it. It's cool tone neutrals with some really, really interesting shimmers in here again, like this thing in the middle. Yeah, I can't wait to start playing around with this. I will be trying this along with the Veri Peri in January, I believe. So I can't wait to try this. I think it will be perfect for the winter time. It's light, it's grungy, it's cool toned. Oh yes, I'm gonna love this. And then perhaps a bit of an outlier, but the Dollhouse from Blend Bunny, I was like, yeah, this has winter written all over it. Granted, it's not as cool toned as you might expect from just looking at it in the pan. It's a bit more warm toned, but hear me out. I've mentioned before how I love, like how I include like the holiday season in winter, like in my brain. And it can just create so many great glammed up looks, especially these greens here, but this row here is really lovely too. I also quite enjoyed like this row here. Those are the more cool toned ones. Yeah, and perhaps even this one. But yeah, these rosy ones and also these like more browny orange tones I would stay away from. But I would say that for this time of year, and especially with how light some of these transition shades are, yeah, I think you can make it work. For me, this entire row of really deep shades kind of is a bit useless. So I kind of just use these, and then I can create some really nice, soft, very pretty looks. And that's what I love this for. So if you like pretty yet glam looks, and you want it to have that wintry feel, this is a good one. And now I mentioned in the intro that this could kind of be like a haul. There is one palette still making its way to me. The Adept Cosmetics Minka palette is coming my way. But yeah, I did buy these ones over the past couple of weeks, and they're already in, and I was like, they're all great winter palettes. And I think these are all going to be tried out in February. So new to me, Gloss Gods New Neutrals. They have a stunning new palette out. Oh no, it's really, really pretty, but it was limited edition, so I'm sure by now you can no longer get it. I'm not sure how quickly their stuff sells out, but I spotted this and I was like, oh, it's a bit more warm tone and perhaps more intense than Cashmere, but in my brain, this kind of does a similar thing. I mean, it's got those interesting shimmers again. It's got multi-chromes too. It's got perhaps a little bit more warmth, but it also has like the smoky grunginess. So I can't wait to play with this. If I love their formula, there are definitely a couple of other palettes that they do that have sparked my interest. So if this is a great one, and another great thing about this, if you're in the EU, this is a Swedish brand, meaning that you won't have to pay for customs if you were to buy this if you're in the EU. And then these two, again, two things that I feel go hand in hand, but I've counted them as two separate palettes for the sake of the video. Sadly, no longer available. These sold out really quickly. The brand thought they were gonna have enough to last them until Christmas, and then it sold out really quickly. But it's the Christmas limited edition from Odin's Eye. It's the Christmas Eve and the Merry Christmas palette. And sticking to the theme here of, I think Christmas is definitely winter time for me. I think that these are like, if you were to look for palettes that just embody the spirit of Christmas to me, these ones, like this, like with the red and the green, and it's like, it's also like the right kind of green for Christmas. It's not like overly saturated. I do think that the Merry Christmas one is my least favorite of the two because it is more warm toned. But yeah, I these four shades, like this half of the, so pretty. But I swatched them now, and even though this looks like a really vibrant orange in the pan, when I swatched it, it didn't look that orange. It was more of a bronze. So I'm very interested, like, I'm just very curious to see what this will look like on the eyes once I start using it, because I haven't used these yet. And then the Christmas Eve was my favorite of the two, but it just made sense to buy both of them for me. This is the more cool toned one. It's not as cool toned as I'd hoped. It looks more cool toned in the pan, I felt, than it did once I started swatching it, because like this is all quite warm, this green is quite warm, this is quite warm. So I'm not sure. We get some really nice navy tealy shades in here though, some silvery things, some plummy purpley things. That taupe is life. So yeah, I had to try this. You just knew I did. So I'm really glad I got this. This is definitely winter in a palette to me. But yeah, you can no longer get these, so I do apologize. And then we have this guy, the Retro Glam from Natasha Denona. And I remember when I looked at this in the pictures, I was like, why is she releasing this right now? Because it looks like a spring palette, because it's pinks and greens. But that's until I got it home. So now that I have it, two things. It's more warm toned than you think, especially the pinky shades. So I feel that the pink tones in here have quite a lot of peach running through it, so that's something to look out for. But those cool tone taupey shades, oh, they are so stunning. Like, I just, again, this is something I'm going to try out for you in February, but I can see myself like doing like a taupey look and like a rosy look, and you can do a green look with this so easily. And the greens in this aren't as gray toned as in the mini retro. The mini retro is far more gray toned than these are. These pull more grassy, foresty green, I feel, especially this shade and this one as well. So you get some of those sagey greens, but I feel it's a little less sage and just really pretty soft eyeshadow. So I can't wait to play around with this. And I feel that because it's quite light, I mean, it's light. It does it perfect for winter just because of that. And now that I've swatched it and I own it, I'm like, yeah, I can see why she would release it now rather than in the springtime, because it lacks some of the vibrancy that I would appreciate in a springtime palette, if that makes sense. So yeah, Retro Glam is the last palette that I wanted to feature here today. So yeah, some of these I have yet to try for you, so I hope you'd like to stay tuned for those reviews. And remember that I now have a link in my description box where you can shop some of my favorites. So I have my favorite cool tone palettes, my favorite warm tone palettes, and my favorite neutral tone palettes linked in the description box down below for you to shop those if you would like to shop through an affiliate link and share a bit of your money with me. That would be lovely. So yeah, it's called Shop My Favorites. If you click that link, you can find not just eyeshadow palette favorites, but also some other favorite products of mine as well. So yeah, thank you so very much for joining me today. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make several videos every single week. I'm of course going to be talking about my 2022 favorites in this month as well. So stay tuned, because between Christmas and New Year's Eve, I will be posting a video every single day with my favorites. So I hope you'd like to stay tuned for that, and then I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye!